Hello, and welcome to Round Glass. My name is Lisa Kring. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and a longtime practitioner of Vipassana Buddhism. And I'm so happy to be all here together right now at this very auspicious and beautiful time during the winter equinox, the winter solstice, where we start to move and tilt from the shortest days of the year into the longest days of the year. So the prompt for this, I'll say a few words before we move into the meditation as a practice, but just so you can begin to reflect and let this prompt just drop deep down. At this darkest time of the year, is it possible to still remain in the light? So you can just feel into that for yourself. Let that drop down like a warm light. And in the practice that I am committed to, we are cultivating an inner light. But for this practice right now, where we're really honoring, we're allowing the winter solstice, the natural cycles of the planets, the earth, the sun, the moon, allowing them to hold us and to support us so that we can get grounded and we can trust the natural cycles of nature as we move back into the light. So at this darkest time of the year, yesterday was the darkest, shortest day of the year. We now are beginning to move into the light, quite literally. At this winter solstice time, as I was saying, we're now moving into longer and longer days. Isn't it beautiful to feel into that truth? So it's a very special and auspicious time to let go of darkness, to allow for new beginnings by joining with and connecting to the reassuring cycles of nature. I love to celebrate this period, knowing that from this day forward until the summer solstice, we will all literally together be moving into more and more light. It's such a powerful metaphor for our lives. Often in our lives, we can feel that we're in the dark. I think all of us have felt that this year at certain points of time. But if we can stay present and grounded, trusting life's natural unfolding, we move back into the light of wisdom, the light of contentment, the light of balance, the light of peace. So let's experience together this reflection meditation in which we'll be letting go of darkness by tilting literally with the earth into more and more light together, starting right now. So I hope this feels inspiring and beautiful. And when you're ready, let's begin by settling into a posture that feels quite stable, that's very close to the earth. We'll be starting this meditation by getting very grounded, really feeling our connection with the earth. And as we do that, we feel more connected to ourselves, with life as it really is. So take a few moments to settle into a posture that for you right now feels very grounded and stable, connected and supported by the earth. I'm sitting, as you can see, and I'm sitting really close to the floor. This feels very stable for me. If this posture doesn't feel sustainable for you, then it might be lovely, and you can just feel into this for yourself right now. It might be lovely to lay down, perhaps on a rug or a floor with a blanket. And I'll just give you a minute to settle into a posture that feels really anchored and grounded and in connection with the earth. This is really what we're learning to do with this practice. Because we're moving into the light, I'm also, in honor of our shared intention right now, of bringing more and more light into our bodies, our hearts, and our minds, I'm going to light this candle, and if you have one nearby and you'd like to join me, feel free to do so. And as I light this candle, I honor and acknowledge the deep intention that we all share to move more and more into the light. It's a beautiful time to have rituals of candle lighting. And this can really also support this experience as more embodied and sensual and real. So I'll leave the candle right here, Sue. Hopefully you can see it. So hopefully you found a posture that feels anchored and steady and connected. And as you do so, allow yourself to really drop down into the body, closing your eyes if you like to, and we'll spend just the first 10 minutes or so of this practice, just really aligning with the earth, with nature. It's so reassuring and nourishing and healing to do this. So as you drop down into the felt sense of the body, excuse me, really noticing where the body makes contact, where it feels connected to the earth beneath it. And see if you can become somewhat surprised as you discover where in the body right now you feel closest and most connected to this earth. And see what it's like to surrender and release deeply into that region or area of the body. Excuse me. That feels connected and held and literally cradled by the earth. Excuse me. As you begin to connect to the reality of this earth that is holding us all, literally supporting the full weight of the body, see what it's like to really surrender into its embrace, into its support. Don't hold back, really let go into the earth. What is that like? To just let go into the embrace of the earth and the gravitational pull that holds us so gently. And as you begin to drop down into this experience that's so real in the body, always connected to the earth in every moment, so reassuring and supportive and grounding. Just for now, allowing all of the activity in the mind, whatever that may be. Excuse me, I have a little scratch in my throat that I'm noticing. So I'm going to have a little sip of tea while you continue to be cradled by the earth. You can take a few deep breaths, and as you breathe in deeply, expanding the whole body, allowing the oxygen to fill up every part of the body, expanding slightly as you breathe in. Then in support of this very primal and deep connection, You can breathe out, really slowing that down. And as you do, connecting even more deeply to the earth. And as I was saying, you can allow any activity or stories of the mind, which is so normal. You can just very gently and without any judgment at all, allow all of that chatter to move into the background just for now, like background noise, not the main focus right now. The less we feed the mind, the more it calms down. So just stop feeding any activity to the mind. Just let it calm down naturally without you having to do a thing, by simply allowing it to move into the background and then gently letting the body, so deeply connected into the natural world, supported by this earth, allow that to gently move into the foreground, just for now, for the sake of your healing, your well-being at this time. To bring in the light. As you continue to feel cradled and held by the earth, it's lovely also to feel into the life force energy of the earth, really receiving it. There is electromagnetic energy always emanating from the earth, and it's very healing to the body and to the nervous system. So receive it deeply and fully. And as you remain anchored and grounded into this energetic relationship with the earth, you can really feel. If you like, you can also expand the awareness to include the planetary movements above. These bodies, they do affect us. We are in relationship with the moon, the planets, and feel into the energetic presence of these bodies, these celestial bodies. Always rotating in perfect harmony and balance. This is so reassuring to connect to nature's cycles and rhythms. See if you notice any calm that begins to spread throughout the body as you align with and feel energetically the earth, the celestial bodies, the pull of the moon. We had a full moon just a few nights ago. Very powerful. And see if you can, for this last minute of settling, just feeling at one with these movements of the earth, the planetary bodies, the moon and the sun. all rotating in harmony and balance. And just acknowledging that throughout this practice, if you notice that the mind wanders away from the reality of the earth, the solar system, the planetary reality of this moment, just to, with a kind and gentle quality, to give yourself credit for noticing whenever the mind has wandered. This is really good news. And then see what it's like to step off that train of thought that's taking you away from such support and balance, nourishing and healing. And return, just return to the earth. You can, even if you like, you can put one or both hands, if you're able to, directly on the earth, just to return again and again to that elemental support, holding the body, holding us all. Stay connected and grounded, in sync with nature and its rhythms and cycles. As you align in this way, as we become connected to nature, to cycles, to the earth, it allows us to become more connected to what's real right now, to feel in and join to our own experience as it is arising in the body, just as it is, without interference or judgment, without any preferences, really trusting and letting it be as it is in the body right now, in the heart, as well as the mind. Just trusting life's unfolding within and without. As you move into deep connection with your direct experience. The degree that we can connect in this way is naturally harmonizing and healing. And throughout this practice, as we continue to move into our reflection, this auspicious time as we move more into the light, just return again and again whenever you need to the comfort and the stability of the earth that you can feel. So moving into our reflection, if it feels right, and acknowledging deeply now from more embodied presence that starting today, the earth will be tilting into longer and longer days, more and more light coming in. And as you let that fill your being, the truth of that, simply trusting life's unfolding, staying in tune with these natural rhythms, so reassuring. How this time of transition between darkness to light, how this can be a time of getting quiet, going within, and slowing down. Giving yourself permission to really slow down, cultivating clarity and peace, deep connection. Simply join with the sacred dance from darkness into light. Trusting that flow and rhythm. As you rest and trust, really feeling this alignment with these cycles right now, feeling the truth of that, seeing what it's like to then just dispel and release all worry and anxiety and fear, staying present, connected, and anchored into nature, the earth, as we move into the light together. May I trust life's unfolding and simply rest in nature's cycles. May I stay grounded and centered in this life, finding the inner center of calm and clarity, the deep, illuminating light within. As you rest in alignment with the reality of light starting today, letting this be a deep teaching, reflecting and resting in this light, and how you can bring your own heart, your own mind, your own body more and more into the light, basking in this light, illuminating any dark places right now. So just let the light begin to shine and illuminate throughout your being, letting it go wherever it needs to go. As we move into the light, it's often considered a time for new beginnings. This is a fresh start as we move back into the light. Reflect for yourself at this auspicious and pivotal time. What would represent a fresh start? How would you like to renew and refresh your life in any way? You don't have to think too much about that or analyze. You can just rest in that inquiry and just see what arises, what illuminates your heart, your mind. How do I want to start this time fresh? What would I like to let go of? Where would I like to place more and more of my attention? What matters now? What's most important, and what do I deeply value? Can I live in this fresh start time in more and more alignment? With what's deeply good and right for me? So for the remaining time of this meditation, just for these last few minutes, I'd love to invite you to just surrender and let go. Just let go into more and more trust, into the flow, the balance, the mystery of life. Trusting that there will be light more and more. Remaining anchored and deeply connected to the earth. Staying attuned to nature's cycles. And the energetic experience as we all tilt together into more and more light. In a minute, I will ring the bowl to really signal the end of this practice period together. But before I do, it's often lovely to just reflect for yourself on what you found supportive in any way about this practice. Were there any insights? Any new beginnings? Could you feel and notice where the light wants to shine more and more throughout your being? And how can this be, at this time, a fresh start, a new beginning? It's so powerful to know that we can begin again as we move into the light. Feel free to open your eyes and stretch a little bit, and I'll just offer a few words just in support of what was just offered. Just letting you know that personally, this is a lot of what I've been practicing in the last 2 years. Often, especially in these last 2 years, it often feels like the world is spinning out of control, both our own world, the greater world. And it's so reassuring and healing for me to get grounded, to literally get quite grounded, more from the neck down, where I really trust and feel into all that is supportive, holding the body, reassuring. The earth itself, I often really take very slow walks where I really feel my feet against the earth, where I stay close to the earth. And it just brings so much peace and clarity. So I invite you to do this in any moment Thank you so much for joining me. And remember, you can meditate with Round Glass Live every single day. Check us out at round.glass and on our app. And I'll be back next Wednesday for my next live session. Until then, stay grounded, stay connected, and be well.